Right away Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hit parade.
Guys like us, we had it made. Those were the days.
Right here, 'cause these are the good old days. These are the good old days.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey, you! Yeah, you! Come here for a minute. I want to talk to you. Mama says you're brain dead. Bang your head against the wall. Can't find peace of mind. Brain needs an overhaul. Bonehead, brain dead. We're all the same. You can't think straight when your heart is in pain. Turn around, hit the ground, time to lay your burden down.
The views expressed on this broadcast of the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show are those of the co-host and guest and do not necessarily reflect those of our affiliates. The topics and opinions on today's show should not be considered as medical, psychological, or professional advice. Take 12 Radio is not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship. And now, here's your host,
The man, the myth, the legend.
the Monty Man.
Telling you the truth, man, I ain't gonna lie to you.
That's right.
Good guys, bad boys, we're all the same. Saved by grace is the name of the game. Turn around, hit the ground, time to lay your burden down.
With a little thunder.
I thought that was a temporary thing. I didn't know it was like...
No, it's permanent. It's with us forever.
I love it.
Do you?
Yes.
Marv's going, I don't love it.
Marv's in a t-shirt and a cap.
He's
styling right now.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
He is.
Right?
styling.
He is.
Marv walked in.
He's just chill.
Marv walked in with a ball cap on, a
I know.
t-shirt, and
He still has his belt, though, so he's going true to his roots.
he's like, what's the big deal? Everybody's making such a fuss over my fashion statement.
Well, we just love the cowboy hats. But I'm telling you.
Oh, he still has the boots on, though.
But the baseball cap is...
I know.
Poor Marv.
Poor Marv.
I know.
And
The
no
center of
button-down shirt.
attention.
It's a t-shirt.
Wait till he
With a pocket.
Where's Cecil when you need him?
I know, right? Oh, my goodness. Well, welcome to the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show with a bunch of scallywaggles. Denver's here today.
Howdy.
Hi, Denver. Tony's here.
Good morning.
And Marvin, his wardrobe's here.
Yeah.
With a pocket.
You got a pocket.
Oh, man.
Wow. Let's do backflips. It's so funny. Marv walked in, and immediately I thought, I don't have my teeth. And I had to go back in the house and get my teeth. I don't know why Marv
teeth.
made me think of that.
Teeth. We're going to bring teeth up.
Poor Denver.
Oh, good.
So the topic this week is the good old days. What do you miss about the good old days? And
Teeth.
are there better days ahead? And Denver said teeth. I miss teeth. Because he's been having teeth problems.
It's okay. I'm going to be blessed.
You're going to be okay, Denver?
Yeah, I'm going to be blessed.
Right.
But it's just a matter of time.
So I'm not going to add this to the weekly whine. I'll just say it now. And because there's a lot of people not
There's no baby?
No, there'll be a baby. But
okay.
but this, I just got to say, have you guys noticed, and people that aren't from this area don't know what I'm talking about, have you noticed in the last year, particularly in the last several months, that for some reason or another, with no construction on the highway, no accidents on the highway, the stretch between like Three Lakes, the Three Lakes thing, all the way up to Jefferson, it's bumper to bumper on the freeway through Albany. What is it about Albany?
Because they're doing all that construction.
No,
down
there isn't any.
What are they watching?
That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
So Marcia and I, just for kicks, decided to drive up and down the frontage road and kind of look around to see what was going on. We looked on our Waze app on our phone that gives you a traffic report and all that stuff. There was no accidents. There's no construction. Why is it bumper to bumper on the freeway? It's like, Denver, are they stopping to see you?
Listen. It's bumper to bumper, and then it opens up.
I know.
And I'm going, was there an accident? I don't see no
But it's every
leftovers.
day.
Yeah.
And it's on the weekends, too.
I see it, Monty.
Yeah?
Believe it or not, on the northbound side,
Right.
I have seen it all the way to the Highway 34 exit blocked up.
Really? All the way back.
From
And it's always
Albany-
going north, isn't it?
With
Well,
an
this-
excuse?
yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
I mean, why?
Well,
We
that's
don't
what I
know.
often wonder. You know,
Yeah,
what-
why?
Obviously, I don't drive that much.
I'm like, is it,
Well, get out and drive.
so we were heading over to Life Group last night. No. We went shopping yesterday right after church. So it was like 1 o'clock. And we went over the freeway to go to Walmart and we saw it. It was like that. And I mean, cars were stopped.
Yeah.
So I'm looking on my
Yeah.
Waze app and there's nothing wrong. There's no construction. There's no traffic problems. There's traffic problems, but no wrecks or anything like that. And then when we went over to go to Life Group at 5:30, I'm telling you, the same car that I looked down upon from the overpass was still sitting there. I mean, it was still
car.
bumper to bumper. And I'm like, I don't.
James and I had no traffic.
You're very lucky.
Well, yeah, but you didn't come the freeway, right? I mean, we didn't either. It's just on
Well,
the
we
freeway.
were late too, so.
It's just on this little stretch, but like you said, 34 up to Jefferson. I don't know what the deal is. There's something. I think I know. It's us.
It's chemtrails.
People are stopping because they know we live here.
Oh my God.
And they just want to feel the aura.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, I love that.
Well, that's kind of like Tacoma, though.
Really?
Oh, Lord. That traffic is awful.
Well, I
and
know
there's
in
nothing
Seattle
there.
and stuff. It's crazy town. Yeah. Okay, so we need to get some really real wine stuff going on here. There we go.
It's time for Monty Man's Weekly Wine.
Ah, baby. Oh, I found my CD of the baby, and I listened to it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I cleaned my room finally.
Oh, that's how you clean your room? You listen to CD of the Baby and motivates you to clean your room. Okay, so we may have touched on this before, but I saw this the other day, and it was crazy. So you know how food servers will wear these gloves because the health department says if you're going to be making sandwiches, like at Subway, they'll put these plastic gloves on, right? Well, the deal of it is it's actually more unsanitary. It's more sanitary to wash your hands on a regular basis and use your hands than it is to actually have these gloves on all day.
Because of the powder?
Well, not the powder, but so you put these gloves on, it gives you a false sense of cleanliness, I guess, because you're making a sandwich, right? And then you're turning around and opening up the refrigerator with your gloves on. You know, you spill something, you're picking it up with your gloves on. So my wife asked this lady, she goes, ma'am, you just threw that garbage out with those gloves on. Could you change your gloves, please, before you make my sandwich? And she looked at her like she was Hitler or something. You know, I was like, the hate in her eyes was like,
Oh,
how
no.
dare you
Do we need
ask
to
me
burn
to
them
do
down?
I don't know.
Burn them down.
Burn them down. So, you know, putting these gloves on and then thinking that now you're sanitary, your fingers
Yeah,
may
that's
be,
gross.
but my food isn't. Because you're making my sandwich and then you're picking up stuff that's gross and dirty, and then you're back to making my sandwich. So that's part of my wine this week. Have you know you're in food service or were, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys do the glove thing?
Well, as of 2 years ago, yes.
Well,
Yeah.
But not right now. Well, I mean,
The gloves came off.
the gloves didn't come off, but before that, there were no gloves. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they still touch everything. So I see what you're
I
saying.
know. I don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Can
no.
you make any sense of this, Marv?
Marv's got
It's
something to
way
say
out,
here.
Way out of my league.
Do
did-
horses change gloves?
Do horses change? The top 10 questions for horses. We should
Oh,
have
is
that.
it really? No?
It looks like maybe.
Help me.
Okay. Obviously, I'm having a morning.
No, we don't.
Oh, okay.
And the other thing is
like that.
The other thing is, it doesn't have to do with the traffic jam in Albany, but just driving in general. We talked about this before. I don't know if it's the heat or what's going on, but yesterday we almost got hit 5 times. 5 times. And we only drove across town once. And for those who don't know, Albany is a relatively small town.
Yeah, it's not that big.
You know, and it only takes 10 minutes to drive from one end to the other. And so 5 times, people were driving so erratically and cutting people off and slamming on their brakes, and there's nothing in front of them. I mean, just, is it chemtrails, Denver? It is the weirdest thing. I don't get it.
You heard me grunt, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm serious. Is it chemtrails?
It may be.
What's going on with people right now?
We joke about it, but I'm beginning to start taking it seriously.
I really am starting to think that maybe there's something going on.
I'm not thinking very
because
clear.
Society is just not thinking, period.
It's just wild. It's wild stuff. So with that, we better have a little win. The weekly win. Yay! Doesn't that just make it feel good? Say yes, Tony.
Yes.
Yes.
I will say that made my day a little bit better.
All right, here is the weekly win. It is really fun when we get a listener from the show that will call in and want to chat that isn't a Looney Tooney.
Wait a minute. Where'd you find that one?
Well, our friend Nick M., who's a firefighter, called me the other day, and we just had a lot of fun talking. And he's been a firefighter for a long time. He listens to our shows regularly. He's a big fan. He encourages other people to listen. He lives, I believe he lives in the Midwest somewhere. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, but we were talking about like old school AA and the radio show and different issues that we talked about on the shows and different topics, and we talked a lot about God with each other. It was awesome. Excellent. This guy's been listening for quite a while, and to have somebody like that who is an advocate for Take 12 Radio, who shares Take 12 Radio with people, and responds quite regularly. He sends me amazing articles on different things in the Catholic Church. Yeah. He's Catholic and loves the Lord dearly, and is a fellow 12-stepper, very committed to that. Just a neat guy. It was just really fun to do that. So Nick, I just wanted to say you're my weekly win.
Aww.
Hey.
Howdy, Nick.
Yeah. Hi, Nick. Say hi, Nick, Marv.
Hi, Nick, Marv.
Yeah, I knew he was going to do that.
With his pocket.
All right. So,
that's pretty good, Monty, because a lot of time, well, most of the time, you don't get a chance to talk to people out there.
Yeah.
No.
No. So it's pretty cool, really.
Unless we have a booth or something and somebody goes, oh, yeah, let's do your show or something like that. But usually not. Yeah, so it is really cool. It's very, very, very encouraging. And again, thank you to all the sponsors and all the people that donated. We were able to make all our bills as they come due. There's a new bill every week for the next couple of months, and we're able to just hit the send button and pay it off, and it's all because of you guys. So thank you for that. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we got a little Take 12 trivia, and something is now available for you. Check this out.
Oh, boy.
Time to lay a burden down.
Hey there, it's the Monty Man. Hey, why not have some fun with everyone's favorite misfit, Cecil, by adding Cecil's music collection to your entertainment library? Songs like Sweet Caroline,
Sweet Caroline,
Hotel California,
welcome to the Hotel California.
You Got a Friend in Me,
You got a friend in me.
The Piano Man,
Sing us a song, you're the piano man.
And Cecil's favorite,
Sing us a
The
song
Rainbow
tonight.
Connection.
Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me.
Cecil Sings is a collection of iconic songs that are sure to put a smile on your face. Right, Cecil?
That's right, Monty Man. And tell the folks the best part.
Well, Cecil, the best part is Cecil Sings is absolutely free.
That's right, Monty Man. And tell them how they can get it. Go ahead, tell them.
I am. Don't get pushy. Simply go to take12radio.com and click on Follow Me on Podomatic. Once there, sign up for free to our podcast by clicking on the follow button. You can even download our app for iOS or Android, so you can take 12 Recovery Radio on the go. Once you become a Podomatic member, you can download Cecil Sings. Just scroll the page until you find Cecil Sings, and that's it.
And Monty Man, folks can donate to help keep our shows on the air by clicking on the PayPal button or by visiting our main website at take12radio.com. And at the bottom of the page, they can click on the donate button. We would really appreciate it.
So what are you waiting for? Visit us at take12radio.com and click on Follow Me on Podomatic and download your collection of Cecil's favorite songs, Cecil Sings. Recorded for you, our listeners, for fun and for free.
And now, it's the Quiz of the Week.
That's right, everybody. It's time for Take 12 Radio's Quiz of the Week, sponsored by that recovery magazine, the 12-Step Gazette. Visit their website at 12stepgazette.com. Now, here's the Monty Man.
All righty then. In keeping with the topic this week, the good old days, we have some trivia that is surrounded around the good old days.
From the good old days.
Yeah, so you have 3 and a bonus. If you get it right.
Ooh, 3 and a bonus.
Yeah, you get a bonus.
Nice.
If you get it, well, you get a bonus anyway. Yeah. If you get it wrong, the good old fluff machine comes into play. All right, here we go. Number 1.
Marv.
The horse whisperer.
And these are multiple choice. Where did the tradition of getting married in June come from?
Oh, boy.
Lots of people like to get married in June. All right, here's your choices. It's related to the weather. That's A. B, it's related to bathing. C, it's...
You're going to have to explain that.
C,
I understand it.
It's warm weather.
And C, it's related to eating. So is it the weather, bathing, or eating? What do you think, Tony?
I'm really confused on this one because I really don't know.
Well, let's take a stab at it.
Well, I like to eat now, so eating.
Okay, eating?
Because you eat when you're warm, right?
What do you think, Marv? Is it
Bathing.
Bathing?
Yeah.
Bathing.
Okay, Denver?
I'm an October fan myself.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is June now we're talking about.
All right.
Bring yourself back in. Come
All
on up.
right.
Come on over.
June, probably bathing back in the day.
People bathe when
Do you know about this, Marv?
Well, I don't know where you're coming from, but
Which angle?
yeah.
Well, Marv and Denver are correct. Tony, eating's great, but no go. It is about bathing. Back in the good old days of the Old West, most people, this is going to blow your mind.
No, it's not.
Most people got married in June because they took their yearly bath.
What?
Yearly. You get that?
Yearly.
You get that? Yearly.
Oh, my God.
They took it in May.
I know. Isn't that? We didn't have hot water back in the day.
You only had it once a year. Oh, my God.
And we'll be selling canned laughter from Tony for $1 a bottle. They would take the early bath in May, and we're still smelling pretty good by June. However, well, wait, there's more.
No,
Oh, my
it
God.
gets better.
Yeah. However, they were starting to smell, so brides would carry a bouquet of flowers to hide their body odor.
Is that where the bouquet
That's where the bouquet came from.
Thank God I never.
Baths were nothing more than a big tub filled with hot water. The man of the house had the privilege of nice, clean water. He got it first. He got it first. Then came the other sons or guests, other men, right? Then the women, and finally the children. Last of all,
Not incredible.
I know, isn't that a trip?
That is a trip.
Last of all, the very last ones to be able to take a bath in that same water, mind you.
Oh my God!
Were the babies.
There's your baby.
Okay, we got to get through this. By then, the water was so dirty you could actually lose somebody in it. Hence the saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Oh, that's where that came from.
Yes.
I've never heard
Don't
that.
throw the baby out.
Why would you throw the baby out?
No. It's a saying that's been around forever.
It's a saying, like, if you find something good in something that's surrounded around bad, you don't want to throw that out, too.
Yeah.
You know, there's a little bit of good in everything, so don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
That is a beautiful piece of trivia.
Isn't that a
there.
trip?
I'm
Wow.
lost.
I love it. Aren't you glad that you bathe daily? At least I hope we will.
I'm fortunate.
I'd kick everybody out of the bathroom. That's what I would do.
So next time when the bouquet is thrown to you,
I'm not catching it.
Don't touch it. Right?
Don't touch it.
Okay, here's number 2. Where did the term threshold come from? Threshold, and here are your choices. It's related to threshing machines that separated seeds from plants. Okay, you guys know what a threshing machine is? Okay. B, it's related to dirt floors in homes. Or C, it's related to spanking your child while holding them down.
Tony's lost it over here.
Settle down.
I say C. Oh my God.
What do you think, Marv? Is it related to threshing machines,
Yeah,
dirt floors, or spanking your child?
I'll go for A.
You go for A? Yeah. What do you think, Tony?
Just go with C.
The spanking your child?
I'm probably wrong.
Okay. Well, it may not be. Denver?
That's a tough one. I want to tell you. I think it's about seeds, though.
You think it's about seeds?
I do.
Well, Tony, you may not be wrong, but you are. Actually,
Story of my life.
you all are.
Oh.
Yeah.
Aw.
It's related to dirt floors in homes.
Why would you?
Again, back in the good old days, floors in most homes were made of dirt. Only the wealthy had something other than dirt. Hence the saying, dirt poor. The wealthy had slate floors, which would get slippery in the winter when wet. So they spread thresh or dried plants on the floor to help keep their footing. As the winter wore on, they kept adding more thresh until, when you opened the door, it would get even more slippery. A piece of wood was placed at the entryway to help keep water and moisture out and the thresh in, hence a threshold. So they carried her over the threshold.
There's a piece of knowledge I probably won't carry too far, but interesting.
Interesting stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that like Little House on the Prairie days?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Yeah. It always cracked me up when the wife's sweeping the dirt.
Off the
what?
dirt.
Off
the dirt.
Hey, now don't make fun of sweeping the dirt. I used to do that all the time.
Would chime in on that one.
You ask anybody that knew me, my barn had dirt floors,
right,
and they were swept.
And they were hard. You know what? I will not make fun of that because I have painted some of the best cars on dirt floors.
Really?
Yes, I have.
Well, what about the dust and stuff from the dirt getting in the paint?
You wet it down, and boom, the whole thing is beautiful. But yeah, they were hard floors back in them.
Wow.
Hard dirt floors.
So I did get an email about a month ago from somebody that said, the first half of your show, what's that got to do with recovery? Nothing.
Everything.
Fun.
Everything.
Rule 62, don't take yourself so blankety blank seriously, right? All right, so we if you can't have fun in recovery, then, I don't know, do something else. Go back to drinking. I don't know. I didn't tell you that.
Yeah, no. You didn't hear that here.
I heard it somewhere.
Maybe, huh?
All right, number 3. In many cultures, when someone passed away, the family would hold a party. They called it a wake. And this was held before the body was buried. Where did the idea of holding a wake come from? Here's your choices. It's related to the wake left behind by boats when people were buried at sea. B, it's related to wishful thinking that the deceased would wake from the dead before they were buried. Or C, it's related to early morning gravesite ceremonies that were held as the sun would rise and most people were waking. What do you think, Marv?
Oh, boy. I'm torn.
Are you torn? We'll come back to you. What do you think, Tony?
I'll say A, because I have no idea.
A? The wake that a boat leaves behind when buried at sea? Okay. Sure. What do you think, Denver?
What was C?
C is related to early morning grave ceremonies when people were waking up.
I believe
that
respect. So I'm going with C.
You going with C? What do you think, Marv?
Okay, I'm shooting in the dark. I'm
Okay.
going to go with, well, I always related awake with Irish.
Right?
Okay, so
yep.
I'm thinking that by the sea, where the Irish might have buried their dead in the ocean.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I'm going to
Well, they're all really good guesses, and they're all wrong.
Perfect. We're all wrong.
It's actually B. So it's related to thinking that they may raise from the dead before they're actually buried. Drinking mugs, let me explain. Drinking mugs were mostly made of lead, and they were used to drink ale or whiskey. The combination sometimes caused lead poisoning.
Huh.
Oh, Lord.
That's weird.
And it would knock a person out for a couple of days.
Oh, my God.
Someone walking along the road would take them for dead and prepare them for burial. They were laid out on the kitchen table for a couple of days, and the family would gather around, eat and drink, and wait to see if they would wake up. Hence the custom of holding a wake.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
Hey, Marshall, look at that dead guy in the row. Let's take him home and stick him on the kitchen table.
Yeah. Hey, put Billy up on the table.
Yeah. The thing that was trippy is probably some of them woke up.
Oh, my God.
Ah, hey, look. Beef stew. Thanks,
What's
lady.
up? Oh, my God.
All right, so here's your bonus.
Oh,
I'm
good.
scared.
All right.
Here's the bonus.
Here's the bonus. It's like the baby.
Where did the phrase "wet your whistle" come from?
All right, I'm ready.
Have you heard that phrase?
I'm
Tom?
ready. I'm ready
No.
for this.
I needed to wet my whistle.
I'm ready for this one.
I know how to whistle.
Okay. Well, here's your choices.
wish
Where
I could.
what's your whistle come from? A, it's related to your lips becoming dry and needing a drink of water. B, it's related to an actual whistle in bars that were blown by customers who were wanting a drink. C, it's related to wooden whistles that needed to be soaked in water before they would actually work. What do you think, Tony?
I say C.
Okay, the wooden whistle?
Yeah, I
Had
don't
to
know
be
why it
soaked in
sounds
water?
good.
Okay. Marv, what do you think?
A.
Your lips being chapped and dry and needed a drink? What do you think, Denver?
I'm going with A because sometimes I need.
Well, you guys are not doing too good.
Aww.
We suck this.
It's related to an actual whistle in bars that were blown by customers and wanting a drink. Back in the good old days in England, pub frequenters had a whistle baked into the rim or handle of their ceramic cups. When they needed a refill, they used the whistle to get some service. Wet your whistle is the phrase inspired by the practice. Isn't that a trip?
That's weird.
Now I'm thinking.
Well, now I know why we didn't get it, because that
We're not
happened,
from England.
It happened in England.
Yeah, it happened in England.
In the
But
saloons here, you just drew your pistol and
And you know that phrase that we say in 12-step support meetings where we say, well, nobody held a gun to your head and made you
Well,
drink.
Marv did.
Well, back in the day, it was customary if you offered a man a drink in a saloon and he didn't want it.
You held a gun to your head?
Yeah.
it was an insult.
It was an insult, and they'd pull out their gun and say, "You're drinking, buddy."
I've
So
never
there you
gone
go.
to the bar with
You
Marv.
you couldn't drink with me. Yeah. Back
Thus
in
the
day.
phrase, "Drinking, buddy."
I don't
I don't
remember
know.
that on Little House on the Prairie.
Wet your whistle. Not a clue.
Now I'm thinking that if you could find one of those actual ceramic mugs from
I
Days
know.
of
Don't
Old,
you think?
Wouldn't
Maybe
that
at
be
Pops.
cool?
I'd be selling it.
At Pops? Pops Branding Iron?
Yeah.
All right, so that does it for Take 12 Trivia for this week. Da, 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 da. All right, Denver's got some shout-outs. We had a lot of people comment.
My
this week.
goodness. He gave me shout outs and I got crazy teeth right now.
You had a
can
lot of
do it.
shout outs.
Yeah, I love it.
I know.
Let me get to them. We have Ken, Paul, Michael, Candy, Darlene, Casey, Mike, Josie, Donald, Marty, David, Kathleen, Kathy, Bobby, Roland, Sharon, Matt, Amy, Michael H., and Cindy, Sabrina, Lewis, Amber, Brandon, Beverly, Susan, Gary, Dave, Jennifer, Erica, Leo, Phoebe, Ryan, Scott, Lacey, and David Lee.
Wow.
That's a shout out to
That
all of
is a-
you.
Nice.
that puts new meaning to the terminology name dropper.
I did kind of.
Mic drop.
And one more, Nick M.
Nick M.
Nick, you get a... And
Where are
How about that? Thank you, all of you.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for
That's,
listening and
what, 20 names?
commenting.
It's a whole bunch.
It's a whole bunch.
At least.
Commenting on the show and the topic for this week, which is the good old days. What do you miss about the good old days? Are there better days ahead? So,
I'm anxious.
the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous makes a statement in referring to reflecting on the past that we ought not remain in an attitude of morbid reflection. And that's where we regret the past to the point where it's just debilitating. It's like, gosh, I mean, that thing I did when I did that thing, it was so horrible, and I can't just let it go. And how could God ever forgive me? And it just keeps going on in your brain, and it's a morbid reflection. Also, though, morbid reflection can be also described as dwelling on things that were good that you miss so much that you cannot live in the moment, that you can't live in today. There was a time, and I have it somewhere, I can't remember where it's at now, where I had the yearbook from my high school. 'Cause my high school was extremely painful, some of the things that went on, but the other part, it was extremely wonderful. There was some marvelous things. And I lived in a sense of nostalgia for a very long time where it was almost medicating for me. I would pull out my yearbook and I would look through it, and it would give me some calm and give me some peace, but it almost got to the point where it was obsessive. And I had to work through some of that stuff. Now, we know that alcoholics and addicts in recovery can be very sensitive. We talk about that in support meetings a lot, that we're sensitive folks. And so sometimes I wonder if we don't get stuck in yesteryear. And I'm not suggesting that we don't have good memories, we don't reflect on them, we don't have, what do you call them, albums or picture books of days gone by. newspaper articles, all that kind of stuff. I think that's good. I think it's healthy. But I'm wondering if sometimes we don't get stuck in that, because there's a lot of stuff going on today that would cause most people that had any common sense whatsoever to say, wow, I really miss a simpler time. And we've talked about that, right, Marv?
Yes.
That there was a simpler time. So there were several comments on this, and I'll just read a couple of them. When we asked, what do you miss about the good old days? Ken said, strangers greeting strangers like they were long-lost friends.
Oh, I like that one. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I read that one.
So why do you suppose people were able to do that back then? You think there was more of a trust level, that people weren't quite as afraid of each other?
Well, it's kind of like when you could play outside until it got dark. It's like it was just a mutual trust. Like,
yeah, there was a safety.
I don't know.
You felt safe, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
safe.
And a lot of people did mention that about being able to play outside.
I think that has to do with your neighbor too. It's just like a mutual trust. Like you
Right.
feel safe with whoever you're with.
Right, your neighbors.
And now you can't do that.
Your neighbors. We had a hill in the back of our house in Petaluma that there was one road that the city owned. It's kind of a little dirt gravel road that went up to the top, and there was a water tank up there. And there were these giant oak trees that grew sideways because they were so big that they kind of toppled over, but they continued to grow. And we would climb on those things all day long in the summertime and find lizards and had dirt clod fights and sliding down the hill on cardboard. And our parents, we got up at 9 a.m. We were up on that hill until 5 p.m. when it was dinner time. Most everybody had dinner about 5 o'clock. And our parents never came and checked on us. You remember stuff like that? I do.
Yeah.
A lot of people commented about that kind of thing.
For those listeners that know me,
Yeah.
Holtz Hill. We had a
You had a hill?
We had a water tower up there, and we just played up there.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
And folks didn't check on you till you needed to be home at dark.
And that's when your mom yelled out the door.
Dinner!
Tony, dinner!
Did you have a dinner bell, Marv? The little triangle thing? Ding, ding, ding. Poor Marv gets stereotyped all the time, doesn't he?
No.
He'd hear the cows. Well, no, you had horses.
Did
He'd
the
have
horses come get you?
But that was a simpler time.
It was.
I liked it.
Kind of like the Wonder Years.
And we've grown up in a different generation than what's going on right now. So I understand their complications.
Well, I'm glad you do, because I don't.
I do.
Michael F. said, everyone watching out for each other, being a village to raise our kids. And we weren't isolated.
Yeah.
I remember my parents didn't really get along with one of the neighbors, but when it came to our kids, they were on the same page. You know what I mean? They didn't let that. I mean, their kids were at our house, our kids we were over at their house. That kind of thing. Candy said, people being respectful to each other, also people not getting offended by every little thing.
Yeah. I agree with that one.
Gosh, that's a big one, isn't it?
Howdy.
Jeez.
I got offended by that. No, I'm kidding.
I just got offended by that. I got offended by you doing that.
I know.
I'm offended that you guys are offended.
Oh, man.
Leave me out of it.
We all look good.
My buddy Mike M. From Texas says campfire meetings. He misses the campfire meetings. So he's a younger guy. So that isn't so old to me, but I don't.
Who wouldn't miss that?
We don't have campfire meetings. AA
Like
and
Boy
NA
Scouts?
meetings. No, like 12-step meetings around the campfire.
Wait a minute. I used to have them out at my place all the time.
I
Used
still
to
have
though.
them at
We don't.
my
I don't
place
see them
all
going
the
on
time.
much
Well,
anymore.
I don't have a place anymore.
Yeah.
You can come to my campfire meeting, okay? I have. Well, you can't burn right now.
You can if you want to. So prices. Marty said prices. I missed the prices. I get that. David D said nothing.
Howdy. Love you.
Yeah,
Love you.
Well,
He doesn't miss nothing. Catherine L. said, good soft rock music.
oh hey,
You can still get that.
like Woodstock?
Well, Woodstock wasn't really soft rock.
No.
No.
See, this is
Well, there was
where
a
I'm at.
mixture, though. There was kind of a mixture there.
It really depended on what you considered soft rock.
106.3 has got a good balance of old-time rock and roll. Which, by the way, Cecil sings on on the Cecil sings
There's
thing.
a little hit.
Bobby Z said, I miss my age.
I probably.
Don't worry, it's adding up.
Sharon E said, wholesome shows, wholesome TV shows.
I actually love Different Strokes. That was a good show.
I remember some of my favorites were like I Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched and stuff like that. I just
What's
thought,
Bewitched?
I Dream of Jeannie.
yeah, you remember that?
Yeah.
I Dream of
Oh,
Jeannie.
yeah. Marv does. I do.
Yeah.
And Bewitched.
Bewitched. Elizabeth Montgomery played a housewife who was actually a witch that could, like clean her
Twinkle.
house.
Oh, was that with the
She
cute
could
little Samantha
twink her-
girl?
Yeah, Samantha.
Oh, okay.
She'd
I
twitch her
remember
nose.
her.
Yeah, she would twitch her nose and things would happen.
And so I remember going up into my room after my parents said,
Oh,
you need
Lord.
to clean your room. And I'd twitch my nose and nothing would happen. And I'd say, God, please clean my room. Yeah, I remember stuff like that.
Oh, my goodness.
Matt H. said, I miss meetings that were actually for the desperate, end of the road type. A lot today are filled with group therapy.
Right.
My day was so bad, and who gets the popular vote? God is still in charge. Peace. Manners. Amy said manners. She misses manners.
Amen.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Michael H. said, I miss the good old days. That's what he misses. Humanity, Cindy said. Sabrina said, I miss being able to eat whatever I wanted. Denver said teeth.
Oh my God, Denver! You actually complimented on this, or
Yeah.
commented on this.
I said so.
Yeah, he did.
I said so.
Community spirit was one that was missed. No electric gadgets. Dave Fleming, who does our show on Friday, said when there was a conduct code.
What's the conduct?
That'd be morals.
Yeah, manners, morals, values, my
Yeah.
time in the music business. He says, I don't miss the drugs and alcohol, but I miss the music business. When people actually talk to each other.
Right.
And children went outside to play and used their imagination to develop communication and relationship. Jennifer L. said, being able to play outside. So there's more of this outside stuff. Erica said, Sunday dinners together after church.
Oh my God, my grandparents did that all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. There's a show called Blue Bloods on Netflix now. It used to be on TV. And I love that show because it's about a family. They're all in law enforcement. And every Sunday, and they're a Catholic family, every Sunday around the dinner table, the entire family gets together. They pray over the dinner, and they talk about family values and God, and sometimes they have arguments and disagreements, but they always bring it together. But it's all around the dinner table. And it's like the end piece of every show. It's like the moral of the show. And I miss that. I miss that.
What's the name of
sitting
that
down.
again?
Blue Bloods.
Blue Bloods.
Yeah, as Tom Selleck as the police commissioner.
Ooh, Tom Selleck.
Barefoot at the beach, Leo said. Phoebe said, trust that most systems worked together for good for most of us. Now, Scotty N., this is the weirdest thing I've ever heard. He goes, I miss going to jail and prison.
What?
What?
No.
Wait, what?
Why would you miss that?
I guess free food and free lodging?
No. Yeah, I see structure maybe.
I know, I'm
Maybe.
kidding.
Yeah.
Lance said, I know what I don't miss. Okay. And Dave,
All right. Thank you.
Well,
David said, these are the good old days. So what do you guys think? So Beverly asked me, I've known Beverly B for a long, long time. I've known her since I was probably 20 years old or maybe even younger. She asked me what I missed. I'll tell you what that is here in a minute. But what about you guys? What do you miss? And then answer the question, are there better days ahead? Who wants to take a stab at it?
Tony, it's yours.
What do you miss, Tony?
You're our young one.
Oh, I know. This actually, I won't lie. This has been a hard topic to actually comprehend in my 2.5 years of doing this. But I will say I miss just being able to go outside and feel safe. And being able to walk around and feel safe and knowing that, if something happened, no matter if you're a stranger or not, they would have your back and, just stuff like that. I know that probably sounds really weird. But it's you could walk down the street and if something happened, somebody be like, okay, no, that's not okay. Or,
Right.
Stuff like that. And morals.
Or if you tripped and fell, somebody was there to help pick you up, no matter who it was.
Yeah, and they could be a complete stranger. And because I was ran over as a second grader by a car, and these complete strangers helped me. And, it was kind of my fault because I was running through an alley, and the car kind of hit me, and I, got under the car. But it's these two strangers that I didn't even know, helped me, that went to my school.
Yeah.
And it's it's that stuff I miss. It's everybody's so judgmental these days.
Or so self-centered.
Self-centered and not caring and everything like that. And, I've learned from that experience that I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this.
No, that's a good point. Yeah.
And it's just stuff like that. And it's just I've carried that on with me. That, no matter what, yesterday, Pastor...
Kelly?
No, the other
Pastor
one.
Mike? Stephen?
Yes.
Yeah.
He dropped his microphone, so I helped him out and just give him his microphone.
All right.
I like to do stuff like that.
Right. It was automatic for you, right?
Yeah.
Where a lot of people
do you know
would
where
just...
I'm going with this?
Sure I do.
I don't know where I'm going
You're
with this.
aware. You're aware of what's going on around you. You're willing to, give a help up, that kind of thing. And I think that speaks a lot to the way we were raised. It speaks a lot to our own personal morals.
But you don't see that anymore.
No, you don't. That is a big piece.
And I'll be the first one to do. I don't care who you are.
Sure.
I don't know if that made any sense.
Made total sense.
Okay.
Total sense. What do you think, Marv? What do you miss?
Oh, you always ask these complicated questions.
Right?
There's no simple answer.
Exactly.
It's a long one.
I like to write little things, and you allured to it a little while ago. But
yeah,
I long for the old days, not because they was easy, but because they was simple.
Amen.
And so just to kind of use that for a broad subject,
right?
The simplicity of life.
Yeah.
I remember, and this is going to show my age, but walking to the lake with my buddies with our bamboo
fishing pole.
Yeah.
Love
just
it.
Like
I love it.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was simple. It was, we had, just like you guys talked about your hills. You get up on the hill and all of a sudden, here's a fort. All right. We're Captain so-and-so.
It's another world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so basically, that's kind of, I guess, I didn't have any kind of family stuff that you guys are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't relate to that. But
right.
In the wintertime, back where I lived, the city would fill this lot up with water, and they'd make a skating rink. And with the kids would all go down there, and we had 55-gallon drums. They'd build fires so you could keep warm, and we'd play hockey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of stuff that I remember that I guess would be what
That's cool.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Denver, what about you?
I could spend hours on this topic.
Reflecting on...
I really could.
Sure.
I miss a lot. I really do. I grew up safe. I didn't get hurt. Nothing else. I did everything a country boy did where I grew up at. You know, I
Yeah.
shot shotguns, traveled to the mountain, had bonfires. There was an occasional kegger. It seems like I attended regular,
Well,
but nonetheless.
But it was a simpler kegger, wasn't it?
It was. We pray. We didn't even pray. We just hoped everybody made it off the mountain at that time. But yeah, I miss all those simple things.
Yeah.
I do. But life has progressed, and it's got busier. So I'm adjusting to the fact that life's not simple anymore. We need to adjust to that.
Right.
And as an adult now, you know, here I am. I help others. I hope.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know. Life's not simple anymore.
No.
In the terms of what I remember. Maybe it is simple, and I just need to take a step back.
And we've talked about things like sitting on the porch and just
Yes.
being still.
Yes.
Things like that.
Finding the solace in being quiet.
Right.
You know, listening to the cat lick itself and do whatever it's doing. I don't know.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just
or the gnomes.
Or the gnomes.
Yeah.
You know, or the trickling of the water.
Paying attention to the simple things that,
I think if we can do that, life becomes simple enough for the moment.
Yeah.
For the moment.
So Beverly asked me, she goes, "What do you miss, Monty Man?" And I'll tell you, there was two things in my life that stand out probably more than any as far as things I reflect on the most. And one of them was these backpacking trips. They were called the Hacky Backpack trips that were up in Tahoe National Forest area that we would go on every summer. And there would be groups of 10 of us, and we would go sometimes 15 miles in. And we'd spend the first night at base camp to get used to the altitude, and then we would backpack in. And I mean, it was no simple feat. I mean, we were going places that people just didn't go. And then at the end of the first week, we were at a place where Jeeps could come in and reprovision our food and that kind of thing. And then we'd backpack for another week. And so there'd be groups of 10. We usually had 10 groups of 10, and different groups had more experience than others and that kind of thing. And the things we saw up in the mountains, the simplicity, the sitting on a mountaintop or a giant boulder just thousands of feet above sea level and listening to a train whistle miles away.
Huh?
Just amazing. Listening to the wind come through the cedars, and you could almost hear a kind of music. The camaraderie amongst the men that went on these trips, the men and young men that were developing into men. These backpack trips were amazing. And they were all part of an organization that I was very active in for a great deal of my life, and that was the Boy Scouts of America. And these were adults and some minors that would go on these trips. And it all stemmed from a place, the other part that I miss so much is a place called Camp Navarro. And Camp Navarro was purchased for a penny by the Masonite Corporation, and then it became Camp Mason.
Penny?
For a penny, yeah. We had leased it for years. It was owned by the Masonite Corporation, the logging company, and they leased it to us as a scout camp. And they used to have these water towers that were, they looked like square boxes, and they were on runners. So when the railroad came through, they could move them. Well, they turned those into cabins. And they became
cool.
They became our cabins.
Oh, cool!
In the middle of the redwood. This is Mendocino County, in the middle of the redwoods, and we had 50 acres up there called Camp Masonite Navarro. And a lot of the things that brought me back to some kind of sound mind after all my alcohol abuse was the memories and the things I was taught as a scouter at Camp Masonite Navarro. And that camp no longer exists. It's now privately owned, and it's a resort area for people.
Yeah.
But we had reunions every year for years. The friends I made there, the connections I made through Navarro, and I actually was honored enough to record a song that the National Scouting Camping Committee would use about Navarro, and we recorded it at the San Francisco Conservatory of Music. And just all that stuff that was surrounded around my scouting days. I miss that. I have a rock still. Its name's Poindexter. It's about a 60-pound rock. And I had a bet with a fellow camper that for a candy bar, I could...
For a candy bar.
For a Hershey candy bar, I could carry that rock around with me for a week and
Oh my
never be any
God.
further, never be any further than 5 feet from it. And I carried, I don't know if you know what a monkey bridge is, but it's one rope that you walk. There's 2 ropes you hold on to, and one rope in the middle that you walk on. We would build a monkey bridge across the Navarro River every year, and we would walk across it. Most of us would fall off.
Goodness.
I put Poindexter in my backpack and walked across it.
Oh my God!
Right.
For a rock?
But I have that rock.
Is that not a fond memory?
It's in the front of our house by our fence.
I love it.
And I still have that rock.
I'm going to have to go visit Poindexter.
Yeah. The gnomes are jealous.
The gnomes are a little jealous on that.
So we're almost out of time, but are there better days ahead, you guys? I mean, are we doomed to live in yesteryear and not look forward to the days ahead? Denver says no.
I'll field it. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I don't think so. You know, I have fond memories of everything I've done, some good, some bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I really believe, honestly, I wake up every day with the hope and knowing that there are beautiful days ahead.
Yeah.
We get to help each other. We get to carry on some of the old family traditions.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Things like that. I mean, I love teaching young people some of the old stuff I know.
Right.
So, yeah.
And there's some days I wake up, like today, I just had a bad morning, and like I come to the show and I feel all better. But like, I think no matter what happens, like you're always going to have a better day the next day, or a better minute the next minute, or a better hour the next hour.
Mm-hmm.
It can't make or break your day. Well, okay, that was wrong. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It can make or break your day, but as long as you make it your day, does that make sense?
So you make it what you make it, right?
We can make a better day.
Yeah.
I used to hear it in meetings, and I hated it. You can start your day over
Oh, James
right
says
now.
it all the time. Don't let it break your day.
But it's true, right? You can't start
Yeah.
your day
But
over.
it's true.
But you can restart
You can
at any
start
time.
anytime again if that's the moment you need. Go ahead and start it
Yeah.
again.
And that's why I couldn't wait to come here today.
And the beauty is we get to share that with people.
Amen. What do you think, Marv? There are better days ahead? Can we make better days ahead?
I seen a better day yesterday.
Yeah?
What did it look like?
I know.
Well,
Did you go on a hill?
I know we're short on time, but long story short, I seen in a meeting prior to the meeting starting, I saw 4 people who, in a vision that would be different because they're alcoholic drug addicts,
Right.
come into the room and they're talking, and one of them, who was really in his day a hard case, hollers out to me, "Marv, we need to pray for so and so," and
Across the room?
so and so sitting right there,
Yeah.
and to the other 2 people who were there,
Right.
a guy and a girl, heard that, and they walked over to him, put their hands on his shoulders, and started praying for him.
Wow.
Now, these are people who would normally, under the influence, wouldn't give a damn about you.
Right.
And I've been thinking about that starting last night.
Wonderful.
And I thought,
That's
wow,
amazing.
What a
Wonderful.
beautiful thing.
what a change, you know. So, yeah, there's hope. And
You bet there is.
I hang on to that.
Yeah.
Amen.
That is a great
That's
story.
awesome.
I get to watch my boys create their own memories. Colin loves to go up to Sisters. He likes to go to, I can't think of the name, Smith Rocks. He likes to go up to Smith Rocks and hike around. He likes he's very involved in church camp stuff, not Boy Scouts, but church camp stuff, and make his memories. And Cameron, he's a soft-hearted, soft-touched kid, and him and his wife, they help people that other people, like you were talking about, other people wouldn't give them the time of day. They're like, these are people with names and families and
like
loved
you said about
ones.
the ministry when he was in his apartment with his friends and
Right.
taking them to church.
Yeah, you bet. And he gets to do that and make those memories there. I mean, so yeah, it is what we make it, right? Dave Fleming and I often say on our show on Fridays, be the change that you want to see in other people.
Be the change.
You be it.
Oh, I like that.
It's wonderful.
Yeah. It's a wonderful
Be
thing.
the change.
So next week our topic is, do we want to keep it simple or are we trying to keep them sick?
Oh, my God.
We'll talk about that next week.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Hardly wait for that one.
All right. The verse in this song by Marianne Kessler, the song is called Long Hard Road. She says, it's been a long, hard road, but I'm glad I came. Check this out.
It's feeling like a detour, yeah, but driving like the freeway. A zone of reconstruction, the toll that I must pay. A single rite of passage with its share of twists and turns that use on smooth maneuvers, but may take a life to learn. And it's been a long, hard road, but I'm glad I came. And it's been a long, hard road, so glad I came. It's feeling like a fable, but reading like a novel. A mystical adventure, yeah, to those who choose to follow. A storyline that falls far short of happy ever after. And acclamation will require a heavy shot of laughter. And it's been a long, hard road, but I'm glad I came. And it's been a long, hard road, so glad I came. And it's been a long, hard road, but I'm glad I came. And it's been a long, hard road, so glad I came.
Marianne Kessler with her song Long Hard Road from her CD Long Road Home. Check out more of her great music at mariannekessler.com. That's spelled MarianneKessler.com. KESLER.com. Hey, listen, until our next broadcast, this is the Monty Man, along with the Take 12 Recovery Radio family, and we are wishing God's perfect serenity for you. Bye-bye now.
Good guys, bad boys, we're all the same. Saved by grace is the name of the game. Turn around, hit the ground, time to lay a burden down.
This has been a broadcast of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.
Cause she's a super cat, she's super kitty, meow.
Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Meow.